This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on what is called the background people, understanding something about reality that you may have never known before, more about reality being holographic in nature, and this video I think will blow your mind. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. On this video, I'm going to be talking about an idea that has to do with the backdrop people. This is an idea from that of Dolores Cannon and her work, which is something that involves getting people to what is called a, I forget the level of consciousness it's called, but it uses a process called Qa HHT, standing for quantum healing hypnosis technique. And what this does is it gets people to some of the deepest levels of brainwave activity. And what it does is when people get to this deep level, they're able to tap into what is called their higher self or their subconscious mind. And through thousands and thousands of different transcripts, her books have come out, and her books are transcripts of those. And one of the topics that she talks about, first off, is that right now on the planet there's an ascension of vibration that is happening. Many of us came here for this time on the planet right now, which is very exciting, and it's because there's going to be a continual raise in vibration and a transformation in a way. Now, one of the other ideas, a lot of the ideas have to do with kind of bending the mind like a pretzel, kind of like thinking things is like, whoa, that's how reality works. These new things for the way reality may work. Now, what I'm gonna do real quick is show you around. I'm in Japan right now, and there's a lot of people here. And when I'm here, it became me aware of this idea, what's called the backdrop people. And I'll be sharing with you my personal perspective. It's maybe not exactly the way that you think I would talk about this. I have a kind of a perspective on it that's a little bit different than Dolores Cannon's perspective, or the work, not her perspective, but it's the information that's come about in her work, and a new way of understanding it. So first off, I'm going to show you around, because this place that I just found is absolutely amazing. What I did is I got my backpack and stuff right over there, and I'm going to show you right over here. These are the cherry blossom trees, and it's one of the main reasons here right now during this time. It's one of the main reasons Leora likes to come here during this time. She's somewhere else right now, but look, those are the 2 weeks a year they blossom. So that's what it looks like. I found this spot while on a morning run, so I might be a little bit sweaty right now, but this is where I thought I would film the video. So anyways, the idea behind the backdrop people is understanding, first off, that reality in itself is holographic in nature. Now, holographic in nature, you can think of it also kind of like living in a simulation. We are immortal spiritual beings dreaming that this is real, dreaming that we are our 3D avatar bodies, and right now what's happening on the planet is we're waking up to more and more of who we really are. However, the way that we can look at this and what Dolores Cannon's work says about backdrop people is this idea that a lot of the people that we come into contact with in life, there's 7.5 billion people here, that a lot of those people may be just parts of the hologram, where in a way they're soulless, or they're just there because they're filler people. Think of it like that of a movie script. In a movie script, you have the lead role, you have the co-role, or like the person that's also one of the lead roles. You have people that are main characters, and then you have what are called backdrop people, or you have people that are in the background that don't have lead roles. They may not even have a speaking role. And you may notice that I'm here right now, and there's, you know, a lot of people walking around, some people I may never even speak to, and it's the idea is, are these actually backdrop people? Which is what Dolores Cannon's work talks about. Now, what she says is that, or her work says, is that there are many people in our lives that act as that backdrop people, which may or may not have souls. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and I don't know how much I resonate with this exactly, but here is the perspective that I have. First off, everything in reality at a certain level is a form of hologram. Reality is holographic in nature, which means that while everything appears to be very real through the 5 senses, and while we may identify with those 5 senses, in actuality, we are so much more than that. And it's just an experience. Also think of it like the movie Avatar. If you've seen the movie Avatar, there's the guy that is being projected as this blue avatar being, as walking around and has these really cool abilities, because he doesn't have that abilities because he's paralyzed. And that body that he's using is an avatar, and then eventually at the end, don't want to ruin the movie for you, but at the end he becomes the avatar, and he gets to live the rest of his life as that. Well, in a way, that's kind of what's happening here right now. We are infinite spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. We forget who we are. We go through a veil of forgetfulness when we come to Earth, and we come here so that we can then go through the kind of experiences that we're having seeing how the lighting is this way because that background is so much better. But I like looking at it, so I don't mind the other way as well. But it's too shadowy. So the idea though is that we forget who we are so that we can go through this veil of forgetfulness. And when it comes to what I'm going to be sharing with you today, it's mainly understanding that we are infinite spiritual beings. Everything we experience in our life is another facet of ourselves. So when you look at that of other people that you're in relationships with, those relationships bring up things within you because they are at a deeper level, another aspect of you. So it depends on how deep down this rabbit hole we go, but are there really backdrop people that don't have souls? I don't know about that. Maybe, maybe not. However, what I think is it doesn't matter anyways, because some of those people that you never speak to, what difference does it make? And in a way, I think everything in reality is divine. Everything is divine, and we are divine. So knowing that, the backdrop people may have less significance in our lives, but in actuality, there are other aspects of our own consciousness anyways. So it doesn't really make a difference other than knowing that everything in our life is a reflection of the one. Other people in your life are a reflection of the one. I was just also listening to something that was very interesting. I was listening to Bashar, a new talk that there was, and he was talking about how of these 7.5 billion people on the planet, there's only about 550,000 oversouls, which means we're all connected at a deeper level. Think about that. 550,000 oversouls are what make up the 7.5 billion people on the planet, meaning we're all much more connected than we even think. So knowing that, we can then see that in reality itself, even though things appear real through the 5 senses, and I can even touch, and it can even feel a certain way, at a greater level, that is another aspect. It is something I am perceiving, and I'm perceiving of more of myself. You say, well, you're not the tree, but the tree is a part of divine energy, and everything we experience in our life is a reflection of that. In a way, you could think of reality itself as a dream of source energy. It's a dream of source energy that we're all collectively having. Some of us are more aware of it or others. A lot of people may be in the unconscious mind. And that's maybe also when they talk about backdrop people, the idea is that a lot of these people may just be on the habitual hamster wheel, thinking the same thoughts every day, feeling the same emotions every day, and doing the same things every day, therefore creating the same things over and over and over again. So when we talk about this, we could see that not necessarily in a negative way to think about people as being like robots because they're just on autopilot, just doing the same things. But the idea is knowing that there's a purpose behind it all, because people eventually have the opportunity to wake up. And that's why on the planet right now, there is this awakening happening on the planet, where more and more people are waking up to who they are. Understanding that we are more than just the 3D avatar bodies that we thought we were. But you see, that's a part of the process. Part of the process is the remembering process of who we are. Remembering that we are immortal spiritual beings, live in temporary human experiences, and that we have forgotten that so that we could go through a process of remembering it, which they call spiritual awakening. And when it comes, the dangerous part about what they call the backdrop people is that then people might be less compassionate towards other people because they view it as that. It's almost like they view it in like a hierarchy type way. They view themselves as more of that lead character, that lead role, and everyone else is just the backdrop anyways. So it could in a way become a little bit dangerous, because then we become less compassionate towards other people, when in actuality it's all part of light. It is all part of light. It is all a reflection, you could say, of source energy, of God, whatever label you want to give it, but it's all divine. So the point about this whole video that you might be, okay, well, are backdrop people real or not real? In a way, they could be, in a metaphor. They could be in a way real, because there are some people that you'll never have contact with. But you will see, and even right now, as I look over there, you see lots of people. Are they backdrop people? Do they have souls? What difference does it make? Everything is a reflection of the one consciousness. Everything is a reflection of the one source. And when we get into a perspective of this hierarchy, we start to lose that divinity within ourselves. Because even people that you are in a relationship with in your life are reflecting back to you more of yourself. Maybe somebody's being compassionate or not compassionate, and it reflects back to you that you want to be around people that are more compassionate. It is showing you either a belief you have, an attachment to an emotion that you have, or something about yourself that you can learn from it. That's what relationships are. I was talking about this the other day. It would be really easy to go and meditate in a cave. As hard as that sounds, like that would be really hard. Well, no, that would be easier than being in that of being in and around people all the time, family members, people, because they bring up stuff within you. They accelerate growth within you. So understand that this is all part of the process, but at a deeper level, those other people are connected to you and other versions of you. They are reflections of that. So everything you experience in your life is more of you. They say, and something that Bashar said as well, is that in order to transcend that of the 3D reality, you must become aware that you are the 3D reality. Doesn't mean that you identify with it and think that's all that you are, but just like Einstein said that you must, in order to solve a problem, you have to shift your level of consciousness, because you can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness it was created. Well, the same thing with 3D. If you identify with it, then you'll think that that is who you are. But at the same time, if you realize that it's just a reflection, it then shifts things. And that gets you even into the perspective of looking at your soul itself. Could it be that it's not so much that your soul is in your body, as it is your body is in your soul. Your body is within your spirit. And that is a perspective that I think is more in alignment. Because we're dreaming that we are here. From higher levels of consciousness, you may be asleep dreaming this is who you are. So everything, in a way, is a dream anyways. So we can give labels to it, and we can talk about the work of the backdrop people, and what is real, what is not real, and all this stuff to do with soul. But everything is other versions of you, and what you put out is what you get back. And what you get out with your intention is what you get back as well. So don't think that you could treat people a certain way and say, oh, they're just backdrop people, they're not real anyways. No. It's about understanding that everything is a part of that divine perspective. You are a part of that divine perspective. And the more that you tap into that, is the more that you'll see that everything is a reflection of the one. What I'm trying to share with you right now is a consciousness shift. It's a shift in consciousness of understanding that everything is a reflection of what you believe to be true, and you will always find more and more evidence of what you look for. So when we talk about this, the backdrop people, why would that information come up in a Dolores Cannon type reading? Well, first off, it will redefine the way that we look at reality and helping us know that reality is more holographic in nature. And that by having those perspectives, it then shifts our life into seeing things that we think are real aren't as real as we priorly thought. So it makes it easier for us to see. But at the same time, it's the perspective and the metaphor that I think is powerful. Yes, there'll be people that are the backdrop that you don't really come into contact with. And to say, what would happen if you went into contact with someone that isn't the backdrop people? And they're like, well, we don't know. I remember watching that in an interview. My guess is that whatever program is running, the program could be metaphorical. The program could be their thoughts, emotions, and feelings are on autopilot, so that's the program they're in. And it still brings something up within you. But at the same time, understand it doesn't make a difference. Because everything is a reflection of you anyways. You and all of us are that one consciousness connected, experiencing itself through different bodies, through different perceptions, but it is all one consciousness. And the key to this is developing the compassion and the awareness that everything is you anyways. You are the dimension you seek or exist within itself. And when you understand that, that's when your life will really begin to change, because everything is a reflection of the one. If someone is treating you bad, it could be because you believe you deserve it. But it's not just they are doing it to you, they are another aspect of you reflecting back something to you. But it's, remember, you are the one consciousness experiencing itself through billions of different people on the planet. So it's about being aware of this connection that you have, that we all have. So the backdrop people, just to clarify, are the backdrop people real? Possibly, in a metaphorical type state. The thing and the answer that I have to this is the backdrop people real? Everything is a reflection of source energy. Everything is a reflection of the one consciousness. And it becomes dangerous to think that you can treat something or you can think of something as less than anybody else, that spiritual ego, because everything is a reflection of that source energy. Everything is a reflection of that one consciousness. So everything is the dream of light. You can think of it as light energy, you can think of it as source. Everything is that form of dream anyways. So it really doesn't make a difference. But tap into the core of you and understand that everything is a reflection. And start to define yourself in a new way. Start to realize that everything is a reflection. So what does that mean for you? What are things reflecting back to you in your life? Are backdrop people affecting you? May be the backdrop in someone else's life. But it's all perspective. And we're all different pieces of that source energy experiencing itself through 7.5 billion people on the planet. As Bashar said, we may be connected to about 500,000 different oversouls, which means we're all much more connected than we think. But we're going through this process of remembering right now. Because right now on the planet is a time of awakening. I think that's the important part, is understanding that. And the more we tap into this, the more we tap into our true power. So, know that everything's the dream of God, source energy, whatever you want to call it. And that we're all going through this experience of waking up, going through this ascension and vibration, remembering who we are. Because now is the time on the planet for it. So I'm excited to be here with you, excited to be showing this all to you and helping you in this process in any way that I may. The other thing I would say is if you want a meditation that'll help you to raise your vibrational set point, it's one in the top description box below. Listen to it for 21 days and then it'll change your life. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. I'll probably go live here in a minute actually. So if you haven't followed me there yet, you'll see the link right here. I also post twice a day there as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification gear so you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.